Are you a better woman because of him?
Absolutely.
Is he a better man because of you?
Absolutely.
You have a couple things money can buy. Love you better go buy Dubai.
The Prime Minister just needs to fly the gate. Call it, Andrew. Call it.
If Mark Golan is to win the next election constitutionally due in 2030, these are some things I believe that he needs to do. Notwithstanding the fact that I believe that Mark Golan is an authentic person. I believe he has passed the authenticity test. I believe that he did not enter politics for self-aggrandizement. He did not enter politics for selfish reasons. I believe that he entered politics to really help the people. I believe that he's an authentic person. He comes across as authentic as without ulterior motive. So I believe he has passed that test. But passing this authenticity test does not in and of itself guarantee you a position as the Prime Minister of Jamaica. There are many inauthentic persons that will or would have held that position as Prime Minister. Right? So authenticity will not always give you enough impetus or enough push to be the one who first passed the post. All right? So no doubt Mark is authentic, but authenticity will not help him to win. These are some things I believe that he needs to do if he wants to win the next election. First one is to get fit, get back in shape, go to the gym, watch what he eats, shave up, improve his wardrobe, probably get a PhD as well, work on himself, become more marketable as a person. Many a men out there will get a woman just by flashy clothes over the man who really has substance but doesn't dress flashy. That is to say, people, Jamaicans especially, will take you at face value. So I believe that Mark Golan needs to improve his presentation in this way, improve his wardrobe, go to the gym, and it will have other spin-offs. If you're going to the gym, you're going to get fitter, probably positively affect your health and so on. You'll probably live longer, and you'll feel better about yourself. You'll be more confident. The better you look, the better you feel, the more fitter you are, the more stamina you will get if you're going to the gym and constantly exercising and so on. So I believe that going to the gym, getting fit, paying attention to himself more, getting his shave, wardrobe and all of that will positively affect his image over the next 5 years. Probably getting a PhD for PhD. Cancel out the advantages that Andrew Holness has. Even though there are surface level advantages, we need to cancel those out as well, because many surface level people will be voting. So we have to meet them at their level. We cannot ignore the surface level people for just substance. All right? So on the face of it, Mark Golan needs to improve his fitness and so on. And I believe that this will positively impact his image and his chances of winning the next election. If it does nothing else for him, it will help him to feel more confident about himself, and it will have the other spin-off as of positively affecting his health. So the first thing, get fit. It makes you look better. It makes you more appealing to the female populace. They will be more likely to vote for him, and it will help him to overcome that face value advantage that it appears that Andrew Holness has. The face value advantage, the surface level advantage. We need Mark to be at least on par or above par, on par with Andrew Holness as it relates to that surface level, what you see from your eye advantage. Secondly, if Mark Golan is to win the next election, he needs to be more vocal, more bold, more nippy, more confident, more in your face, more determined that, listen, this is what I want and I'm going to get it, more bold, more connected. Don't just wait until election or near election to begin to campaign and let yourself be known by your communities throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica. Mark will have to act like a prime minister before he even becomes a prime minister. Meet and greet the people on his day off from Parliament. Go out in the various parishes. Support the current MPs. Shore up their seats. Be more, stand out more in Parliament. Be more bold, because guess what? We have a very tenacious leader in Andrew Holness. And if you're gonna win in a society that is tenacious, because Jamaica is a tenacious society, you have to get tenacity. All right? You cannot be nonchalant in a country like Jamaica. You will be overlooked. You will be passed over. Jamaica is a potentially loud country, aggressive country. The nonchalant will not have their way in Jamaica. So Mark Golan has to be more bold and more tenacious, more in your face. He has to really want it. We all know that Mark is a gentleman, but he has to act the role, assume the role as a prime minister even before he becomes a prime minister. And you will see what happens. I believe that Mark, eventually when he becomes prime minister, he'll be a good leader for Jamaica. He'll be a good leader, because the thing with Mark Golan, even as intelligent as he is, he seems to be someone who listens to counsel. He does not come across to me as a know-it-all. And this humility will help him a lot in his tenure as leader of the country, the Commonwealth of Jamaica. All right? So, the second thing I think Mark needs to work on is his tenacity. He should be ready to stand up, be more bolder, be more confident, be more resolute, be more sure. And he will see a difference in the outcomes. All right? Not saying that he did not do well, because he moved the vote count from 14 to 28, which is commendable. But we want to see him in the victory line. And if you want to see Mark in the victory line, I believe that if he follows these advices, he will be victorious. All right, so that's the second one. The third thing he needs to do is that he needs to have a level of desperation, that I need to get this done and get it done now. I believe that in the last election, September 3, 2025, Andrew Holness was desperate. He went all out. While Mark campaigned but did not necessarily go all out. Right? In the campaign, in the election season, you gotta be desperate. Desperate to go the extra mile to get what you need to get done. All right? So I believe that if Mark Golan is to win the next election, he needs to have a level of desperation. Just like as a teacher, you decide that the students are going to pass and you're willing to do all it takes to ensure that these students pass. Even though you will have to give it your all, but because you want the results, you give it your all to get the results. All right? Or on a day when you go out in the field and, as a farmer, and you decide that you're going to plant 1,000 head of dasheen, but you reach 950. Yes, and you're very tired at 950, but you realize that you still have, the sun is still in the sky and you still can work. You gotta push yourself sometimes even when you're tired. So you gotta go the extra mile. It cannot be business as usual. He has to operate with a level of desperation, willing to go the extra mile, make the right connections, be more visible, be more dominant, and he will win the next election if he does these things. All right, that's number 3. Another thing I believe that Mark Golan needs to do if he wants to win the next election is to empower the people around him. empower his MPs, send them back to school, tell this one that, go back to school and do this. Give them instructions, and they must obey and respect him as a leader. All right? We love you now. You're valuable to the party, but you'll be more valuable if you do this. Begin to put people, give them instructions, put them in a place so that they can improve themselves. Not only just get ready-made talent, but create the talent from within the party. All right? So number 4 is to empower those around you, build them up. Build them up. Build up those around you. Let them see the difference. Okay, I met Mark Golding at this, but no, he encouraged me and I'm this. Those people will remain loyal and remain thankful to you. They'll have a lot to be grateful to you for. And number 5 is the opposite of that. Opposite of empowering those around you who are loyal. You got to look now among those around you, those who are disloyal, and take time, take your hand out of lion mouth. Because there will be disloyal, disobedient persons around you that don't mean you good. They smile with you, but you know they don't really mean you much good. Alright? We don't want to call any names here that is concerned, but there are people who act loyal that are really disloyal. And some people are not just intentionally disloyal. They are disloyal based on habits. They can't control their mouth. They say anything in public. They say anything on a political campaign. They are filled with gimmickry, as if they are doing something good. But little do they know that people are laughing at them in their gimmickry. Some of these persons are not necessarily deliberately or intentionally disloyal, but they are disloyal based on trend and habit. You got to ease your way and ease out of those persons and get loyal people around you and empower the loyal people. All right? So those are 5 ways I believe that Mark Golding, if he implements these things, work on these things, some of them I believe is easier to accept than others, but I speak as I see it, and I believe, I say this with all respect, if he works on these things as a leader, he will do well. We all know his track record. We all know that academically he's brilliant. We all know that business-wise he's excellent. We all know that in terms of being a winner, he is a winner. He won all his life. One in law school, one in business, DB&G, one in investment, one in politics, enacted the ganja legislation whereby a man doesn't get locked up for a little spliff. So we know he's a winner. But we want, if he wants to become prime minister, these are some of the things that he needs to work on, and he's almost there. He missed out by 4. If he had won 4 more constituencies, he would be prime minister. So that's not too far, all right? Because we have 63 constituencies, and he won 28. So if he won 32, he would be prime minister. So it's not too far. But that extra push, those extra 4 seats, you got to go the extra mile for them, Mr. Golding. And I hope that when the next election comes in, I'll be addressing you as Dr. Golding. So as a leader, I know that you encourage people. I am encouraging you now as one of your constituents. Well, I'm a Jamaican, so I'm a constituent. If you're going to be my prime minister, at some point, I'll be your constituent. So those are my words. People, let me hear what you think. Do you think if he implements these things, one day he'll be prime minister? Yes or no?
I could speak on every area if I needed to, agriculture and many other things, but essentially we have a very difficult task ahead of us. Yeah. But if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out.